afternoon and thanks for joining us. Saskatchewan Polytechnic sent layoff notices to 30 full-time and part-time workers this month, including 18 faculty positions. This follows 23 layoffs announced in February and about 100 layoffs carried out throughout 2025. A statement from the institution says Saskatchewan Polytechnic continues to face significant challenges in the international education environment. In October, Saskatchewan Polytechnic said federal immigration policy changes contributed to a 40% decline in international student enrollment and substantial revenue shortfall. The province says Saskatchewan Polytechnic hasn't given indication of further cuts at this point.
They haven't indicated anything more, but I know this month, April, is kind of the month where they make those decisions for the entire year. So, I said, let me know as soon as you know, and that's what happened here with Sask Poly.
Sask Poly says a rebound in international enrollment is not expected next academic year. Premier Scott Moe is confident in Saskatchewan's prospects moving forward, and mining the many natural resources beneath our feet is at the center of the province's changing economy. Moe spoke to hundreds of attendees at the Saskatchewan Mining Supply Chain Forum on Thursday. He says investments in Saskatchewan helping it become a reliable place to do business in a world surrounded in global uncertainty. And the province needs every megawatt of power it can get to remain attractive. So modernizing the grid will be crucial for the province's economy over the next 20 years.
So this is not an either-or discussion. This is an all-of-the-above discussion. The security of our electrical grid is absolutely essential, not only from an industrial perspective, but it's essential for us.
We need that consistency, and we're pretty much at capacity in Saskatchewan in terms of our current power generating ability.
Earlier this year, Sask Power announced a series of significant upgrades that will see the northern and southern power grids connect for the first time to provide reliable power to the province's northern mining projects. A former Saskatoon police officer has pleaded guilty to assaulting a junior colleague at an off-duty gathering and has been sentenced today. Former Constable Dylan Kemp was charged with assault following a backyard party at his home in September 2024. Court heard that at one point Kemp put his hand over the throat of a junior female officer and asked if she liked it. The officer pushed him away and a physical altercation followed. He later approached her again and during another physical altercation struck her in the nose. The following week, a co-worker noticed the officer had a black eye. The Saskatchewan Serious Incident Response Team was called to investigate and laid charges in October of 2025. The judge has accepted a joint submission from the Crown and Defence and has been given a 12-month conditional discharge that will leave him without a criminal record if he completes probation. The defense said Kemp had alcohol use disorder and suffered from PTSD after suffering a series of traumatic events between 2019 and 2024, but he has been sober since the incident.
I think generally the public would see this individual as someone who probably didn't get the support he needed, was probably back to work too quickly. He was subjected to a number of very traumatic events.
At the end of the hearing, Kemp said he wanted to apologize to the officer and said he will continue to advocate for mental health. Saskatoon police are investigating a suspicious death that happened last night. Officers were called to an apartment in the 1100 block of Avenue W North at about 8:30 for a report of an injured and unresponsive person. Despite life-saving measures, the person was declared dead at the scene. No other details are being released at this time. The driver of a truck has been charged with drug impairment after being pulled over by Corman Park Police. The traffic stop was recently conducted on Dalmany Road. Officers with the service initially pulled over the truck as its registration was expired and its signal light had been on for 2 kilometers of driving. A roadside screening resulted in a positive test for cocaine. The drug was also found in the vehicle. Police say the driver, who was already suspended from driving and never had a valid driver's license, has been charged with impaired driving. He was also ticketed for driving while disqualified and operating an unregistered vehicle. Well, there's another reason you probably don't want to be on the roads, and that's because there's lots of snow on there right now, Jeff.
It's true. The snow has, we've been saying it's lifting north, and that's exactly so. It's making its way northward now. Prince Albert maybe not going to get a ton of snow out of this system, but it's impacting many other locations. Southern Saskatchewan, there have been some, I haven't checked the latest update, but I know there had been some road closures between Regina and Lumsden earlier today. Actually, I think up to Bethune. So road closures, you know, it's nasty when they're actually closing down the road and just not simply travel not recommended. But this system is going to take its sweet time to get out of our province, probably by 11 to, so let's say around noon tomorrow, just to be on the safe side. By noon tomorrow, it should be exclusively in Manitoba, but we'll see what's left in its wake when we get there. So we'll have more details on what's happening on the there and now later on.
Sask Power has signed an agreement with an Ontario-based power company on large reactor nuclear technology. Bruce Power is Canada's only private sector nuclear power operator, which produces 30% of Ontario's power yearly. Sask Power said the deal would allow them to explore large reactor technology in addition to small modular reactors. It will also allow Sask Power to see the approval and development process play out for the Bruce C project, a proposed expansion of the company's existing reactor site in Ontario. A new exhibit at the Cumberland Gallery in the Legislative Building is shining a spotlight on Saskatchewan's modern-day military stories. The Royal United Services Institute has launched Who Wears the Uniform? It's an exhibit featuring the stories of 10 Saskatchewan people who have served in the Canadian Armed Forces. Each piece shared experiences ranging from deployments in Afghanistan and Bosnia to fighting wildfires and intercepting drug shipments at sea. The exhibit also spotlights trailblazers, including one of the first Canadian female snowbird pilots, as well as Indigenous service members.
There's a thread that runs through all of these stories, and that is of sacrifice and the willingness to serve. The reasons vary, but in everybody there is a pride in what they do, and all of the reasons for serving Canada are so inspiring.
What I hope for visitors take away after they see this display is the stories that are told, and to see the people from all the farms, the cities and towns from Saskatchewan that we're from all those towns, and we did serve for this country.
The exhibit runs until May 15th at the Cumberland Gallery. Then it moves to the RCMP Heritage Centre for the summer. A date has been set for the funeral of a former Saskatchewan Lieutenant Governor. Vaughn Solomon Schofield died last week after a short illness at the age of 82. A public funeral will be held on Saturday, April 25th at Living Hope Alliance Church in Regina. Those attending are asked to arrive early for the 10 a.m. start. Books of condolences remain available at the legislature, and Government House and flags will remain at half-mast until sunset on the 25th. When we come back, discussions around a social media ban for kids. It's a tool that started in Australia and could be up for discussion in Canada. Canada's culture minister says Ottawa is very seriously considering introducing a social media ban for kids. Mark Miller says while the ban could be an important tool, it's not a solution to the larger problem of online harm. Government's move to consider age restrictions for social media and AI chatbots has received support from Conservative and NDP members of Parliament. It comes after Australia became the first country to pass a law enforcing age limits on social media last December.
First, the ban really announces to parents, it's time to take action. As a society, this isn't okay anymore. You know, it's been unregulated. We've seen the harms that it causes. And will there be children that go online? Absolutely. Just like, you know, we don't want kids to smoke or drink, but there's going to be kids that do that. But what this really helps with is parents of young kids who the whole conversation at some point turns to, can I get a phone? Everybody in my class has a phone. Yeah. So hopefully this ban will help our parents that so desperately need that assistance.
114 years ago yesterday, the Titanic sank in the Atlantic Ocean, killing more than 1,500 people. But its legacy lives on with a connection to a Saskatchewan community. Virginia DeClute has more.
It's been 114 years that a ship set sail in Ireland to cross the Atlantic. it was said to be unsinkable.
They couldn't see the dark iceberg because it was nighttime. Again, it sunk because of the iceberg, and they couldn't turn fast enough.
The RMS Titanic sank on April 15, 1912, with over 2,000 people on board. Many were headed to Canada, including Charles Melville Hayes.
He had gone overseas to try and acquire more funding to keep building his railway, and of course he was one of the people that perished on the Titanic.
His body was located weeks later by the ship CS Minia.
I can't quote it for word, but it was just to the fact that if we keep pushing things at this speed, disaster will happen. And it's kind of crazy that disaster happened on the ship that he was on coming back to Canada.
Today, a Saskatchewan town carries his legacy.
He had a vision, is what it was, and he wanted to make Melville the hub, and we are the hub between Winnipeg and Vancouver. We are the main hub of the now CN Rail, and we have so much history tied with the railway and Charles Melville Hayes.
The brother of Moose Jaw's mayor at the time, Frank Uber Maybury, also perished in the disaster, along with British brothers Louis and Owen Bront from England. They wanted to reach the Capel Valley because a relative had already settled in Saskatoon.
Well, the first movie I remember going to was my dad and my mom taking us to the Titanic movie. It was in the early 50s somewhere.
Ulrich's father crossed the Atlantic with his sister in 1913, a year after the disaster.
So it was very important that he realized that he came across safely when this luxury ship sank, and he just wanted us to see how he did come to Canada and how important it was that he was safe.
Following the disaster, the small community of Murray petitioned for and eventually changed its name to Titanic to honor the victims. Today, all that's left are a sign and a cemetery to remind us of its memory. Today we remember those who perished at sea, for theirs was not only a story of class and technology, but of countless people who crossed an ocean in hope of a better future. Fruzsina Declut, CTV News, Yorkton.
The weather forecast from Jeff is coming when we return, and the benefits of early cancer screening for high-risk populations. Days like today, Jeff, are days that it's good to not have windows in our newsroom, because I think we'd be in a pretty bad mood if we saw what was going on out there.
Well, goodness knows, I know that, excuse me, I know a lot of people are not happy with the snow. I'm hoping that the moisture is welcome for the farmers, but we'll wait and see. So anyhow, we're going to take a look. We'll see what's going on in the satellite and radar shot here. Just 1 second, folks. There we go. So this system has been lifting north, so basically moving northward, and it looks as though it's going to, I'll say, brush Prince Albert. Other parts of the province will see a lot more in the way of snowfall. Some places, especially close to the Alberta-Saskatchewan border, may see close to 40 centimeters of snow. I know, a lot of snow. But we'll keep our eye on this as it makes its way northward. But that low is sort of anchored down in the northern states and just sort of sliding across. But the northern edge of this system is having an impact. So as you can see, it looks like by the time we get to, I'm going to say, 4 o'clock tomorrow, we thought it was going to move a little faster than this. But by the time we get into the early afternoon, shall we say, it looks like most of this snow has moved off into Manitoba. There's still a little disturbance in the north there, but the bulk of the snow will be gone by that time. But until then, we've got ourselves -12 in Spearwood overnight, -10 in the Battlefords, -11 in Candle Lake, -10 in Birch Hills, -10 as well in Rostern and Melfort, -9 in Nipwood. Most places just dealing with some flurries, a bit more substantive snow in the Melfort area. -10, as I mentioned, is the overnight temperature. Rolling into tomorrow, well, the eastern and central parts of the region, they do start to clear up. We've got ourselves mainly cloudy skies, but in temperatures on the plus side, although that's still way below seasonal. 2 degrees for Spearwood and the Battlefords, 1 degree for Candle Lake, -1 for Birch Hills, 1 on the plus side for Rostern, -1 in Nipwood, some flurries, and -3 in Melfort, a similar sky situation with some precipitation. Okay, here we go for Prince Albert and area. Tonight, expecting some flurries, but as I mentioned earlier on, we're not anticipating a lot in the way of accumulation, not a big dump of snow for the Gateway City. Minus 10 degrees, and then the winds back off tonight. And then as we roll into tomorrow, the winds don't really pick up big time. They are, moderate, light to moderate winds out of the northwest. Mainly cloudy skies and 1 degree for a high tomorrow. So probably that's about 9 degrees below seasonal. And then a slow climb to seasonal or slightly above temperatures. By the time we get to Monday, we're looking at 11 degrees, but 15 on Tuesday under mainly sunny skies. So a fairly melty and a warm day there. But 12 degrees on Wednesday, and 1 week from today, a chance of some showers and a high of just 5 degrees.
Well, there are going to be some people, at least a few people in the province that are happy regardless of the snow, and that's, of course, the Prince Albert Raiders, Jeff. Of course, they were able to finish off the Saskatoon Blades last night at SaskTel Centre, winning the 5-3 to take the series 4-0. It gives the Raiders revenge for the 2024 first-round series that went Saskatoon's way, and it paves the way for an Eastern Conference final with familiar foes, the Medicine Hat Tigers. Here's what the team had to say last night.
They're a good team. We had a good regular season matchup against them, but we know the playoffs is a whole nother game, and they obviously won it last year, and they know how to play in the playoffs, but so do we. So we're really looking forward to the matchup and get some revenge from last year.
We remember from last year, the lessons and the experience that we learned and gained, going through the playoffs, that we've done a tremendous job of applying those lessons and those experiences into this run this year. And again, we're really excited to get things going against them.
It was nice for sure to get that one and do it in 4. But yeah, I definitely didn't forget about that one in 2024, like you said. I had that in the back of my mind the whole time, so it was nice to get it done.
Medicine Hat beat Prince Albert in the opening round of last year's playoffs on their way to a WHL championship. The schedule for round 3 has not yet been released. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have released Canadian receiver Ajo after a CFL investigation determined he violated the gender-based violence and harassment policy. The league began an investigation after allegations were made to the team in late January. The investigation determined on November 18th, the day of the Grey Cup Championship parade, Ajo made aggressive and unwelcome physical contact with multiple women at a Regina restaurant. The CFL has suspended Ajo for the preseason and at least 6 additional games. He must complete at least 15 counseling sessions with a gender-based violence expert, a psych assessment, and a meeting with the commissioner before he would be reinstated to play. But the Riders say it won't be in Saskatchewan.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
You might be surprised to learn that lung cancer kills more Canadians than breast, prostate, and colon cancer combined. But for those at the highest risk, early screening is proving to be a game changer. Pauline Chan has more.
Hi, Doug.
Nice to see you.
Jim Prevost had been a patient at Hamilton's St. Joseph's Healthcare for COPD. He was a long-time smoker. Then in 2024, he was among the first patients recommended for their new early lung cancer screening program, even though he had no symptoms.
I wasn't totally shocked, but nobody wants to hear they got lung cancer.
He delayed treatment by a couple of days to attend his daughter's wedding, but quickly went through surgery and chemo.
I'm okay, it's good. And thanks to this program, I'm here. Because if I would have not had the program, who knows what would have happened.
When you talk about people who historically show up with lung cancer, about 75% of them would show up with advanced disease. And now with lung cancer screening, about 75 to 80% of them show up with stage 1 disease, which is highly curable. We cure 80 to 85% of them with surgical resection. And so those people go on to live a normal life.
Dr. Christian Finley says early screening has made all the difference.
So the Ontario Lung Cancer Screening Program is a province-wide program, and it's available everywhere. And it's for people between 55 and 80 who've smoked daily for more than 20 years in their life. It doesn't have to be continuously, it can just be 20 years at any point.
But while some centres have offered early screening since 2024, others have been slower. Prevo's advice for those eligible?
If you want to be alive, get the early screening.
And by this summer, St. Joe's plans to expand the early lung screening program to nearby regions such as Niagara and Brantford. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Saskatchewan had the highest hospitalization rates among the provinces for vaccine-preventable illness in 2024. That comes from the Canadian Institute of Health Information. It shows Saskatchewan had 199 hospitalizations per 100,000 people. Compare that to the national average of 142. Only the Yukon and Northwest Territories had higher rates. The report says delayed diagnoses and less access to preventive care methods in rural and remote areas can be factors. Vaccine-preventable respiratory illnesses surveyed in the report include COVID-19, influenza, pneumonia, and several other diseases.
Brought to you by Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. Thank you to Saskatchewan's 11,000 registered nurses.
Okay, Jeff, let's finish off with a little bit of fun. We usually do, and this time it's at maybe a little bit at the expense of the Saskatoon Blades, but in support of the Prince Albert Raiders. They caught the attention of the law last night after last night's win. Their team bus was pulled over on the way home.
Bus I've been looking for. I found your fan bus, and now I found you. Yeah. Bring home the cup, boys. Go Raiders, go!
A member of the RCMP stopped the bus near Osler, climbing aboard to congratulate the players on their victory over the Saskatoon Blades in the second round of playoffs. The officer shared that she was previously posted to Prince Albert and was rooting for the Raiders to bring home a win. And that's a pretty solid police on the bus story. I have one from back in the day that we were lucky, Jeff, that Brent Sutter was our coach, because he went off the bus, signed a few autographs, and then before I knew it, we were back on the road and heading home. So that was the benefit that time.
I don't want to know what the infractions may or may not have been.
Speeding, definitely speeding.
Oh, okay, sure.
In those days?
Okay, that's okay.
National news is coming up.